everyone should know about the esports in your pocket.
Welcome back, everybody, here to the FISSURE Universe Episode 3. We are getting into Game 2 of our final series here this evening. As is BetBoom taking on the side of Tundra. And this series is not disappointing, man. We were hoping for some fun, creative games, and Tundra absolutely delivered. They get themselves a first game victory after a last pick pudge, which we don't really see that often, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't know what the most creative part was. Like, they break out the Naga support, which a couple teams have been doing. They're picking a Dark Willow, which hasn't been super popular. They had the Morphling flex potential. It's like, oh, what's that last pickup gonna be? They set up such flexibility. It's like, pudge, but it works. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it really did work, and it's one of those things that you don't really expect it, right? Like, who's gonna expect the last pick pudge? But especially into a Sven, right? It's one of those heroes you're like, it's a scary hero to go into, but it worked out great. They did a fantastic job. They get themselves the victory, so cannot argue with the results. Before we jump into the game, though, sorry, Zach, I hate to cut you off, but we got a giveaway going on right now. Let the Twitch chatters try and enter. You can type !1x give for a chance to win yourself maybe some cool sets here in Dota. But go ahead and make your point.
Oh, definitely, they gotta get the sets while they can. Join in. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the pudge. So we were surprised by the pudge, and I actually think there was a lot of good heroes versus the pudge. That's the extra surprise factor. But we were discussing early on, like, who's going to get active first, Pudge or Nature's Prophet? And when I think about one difference between this mid-Nature's performance versus earlier we saw Quinn play it, he was all over the map. Now, he did have an Underlord on his team as well. It was part of their plan to constantly show up to everything. But it felt like we saw more activity from that mid-Natures. And I think that's the idea behind picking a mid-Natures, is that you can join a lot of these fights. And not just with the ultimate, which he did, but you also show up with the teleport, because then you can summon a Treant there, and off of winning that fight, you can push towers really quickly. They did take some tier 1s before Tundra early on, but I feel like it could maybe have been even faster, and you keep that going, and then maybe you start taking tier 2s, snowball the game that way, restrict the map, your Sven gets huge, they're poor, right? I think if you want to go back for the Natures, which you can't because it's already banned out, but like, if you're gonna pick the core Natures, I think that's what you want to do.
And speaking of just bans, though, a lot of core bans, right? The Monkey King, Wind Ranger, the Lina, as well as the Nature's Prophet. Now, a lot of these are flexible, which is why we see them banned out so early. But the bans from Tundra are going to be the Bat Rider, the the Shadow Demon, and then the Tinker. So it's going to leave the Leshrac in for an early pick here, which, again, we've seen flexed a lot between the core as well as the support.
And there's the Doom. All right, Miero Doom, very stable. And if this does end up being a core Leshrac, he's one of the few Bloodstone builders, right? Insane healing in these fights. So now you have Doom to just stop all of that. And if it does end up being a support Leshrac, I promise that it'll be something to Doom, right? It's just why he's such a stable early pickup. He always has something going for him. If you're in a tough lane, you devour creeps. At some point, you will Doom people. So pretty safe opener. Does shut down some picks that maybe you don't want to go back for a Morphling now. Maybe you don't want to go for the Alchemist.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but we'll see. Real quick, though, for those of you who want to get all the in-depth stats for these games, you can head on over and get the 1xBet mobile app. There is a banner below the stream, which you can go ahead and click that link and figure out how to download it yourself.
Follow along wherever you are.
It's true.
All right, Tundra taking some time to figure out what they want to do here. We did see a support Leshrac earlier today. It didn't quite work out that well, but I still think, just one example, still think it's a good support if you want to do that. But it's been picked early to have that flex. You might want to ban the Medusa on BetBoom. We talk about that a lot as one of the carries that just does not care about being doomed.
Yep.
Sven was also supposed to be in that category, and it's kind of true, but he was getting doomed a lot in that last game. At that point, though, he had Satanic, though, so I thought it was still preventing healing.
Yeah. I'm curious if they're gonna ban the Medusa or not. I feel like you gotta, right? It's like so common, like whenever you go for a Doom this early, that you don't want to risk the Medusa, but maybe they feel like they could give themselves the anti-mage if they really want it. I mean, you already see Lesh. It would be not bad into Lesh as well as the Medusa.
Yeah, BetBoom has... I guess they could let the Medusa through because there's some heroes available like Nyx and like GBK Invoker, right? Some very good heroes to burn mana. It will be hard to get anti-mage though, because if Tundra's going to pick Medusa, it's going to be at 18, which means they'll then ban the anti-mage. So they ended up banning out the Marana, which we have seen become popular as another flex pick who can go core with Solar Crest and could go, or sorry, Solar Flare, and could go support, maybe still taking Solar Flare. So it's a lot of options there, which we talked about Tundra being a creative team. Now I'm sure all of them are prepared to play Marana.
I feel like that's the case, yeah. So likely to see some, I was going to say flexible pick here, but nope. They just grab the Medusa for themselves, which now I'm curious from BetBoom's perspective what they want to do with this.
That's interesting. Because, okay, so obviously by doing this, you do not allow Tundra to take it, and you're also... I don't know, like if they pick anti-mage, you have rooms to counter it, but I guess Doom is kind of good versus anti-mage. They're instead going to go for a Broodmother, because that's another way. You don't have to directly address the Medusa. She just takes time to come online. So you can just go for a very fast tempo lineup now. And yeah, we see two very strong early game heroes coming out, the Jakiro and the Broodmother. This could be offlane Broodmother, who would be very annoying for Medusa to deal with. You could end up doing carry Brood, who just joins very early, will speed up, I would say faster than Medusa, but maybe it depends how the game's going. But once you hit 6, I don't know if there's another carry you can keep up with the Brood. The Spiderlings are just such good farming speed.
They really are, yeah.
Maybe Alchemist. Alchemist could do it, but...
yeah, it's true, it's true. I am a little bit curious, though, because in my eyes, I feel like BetBoom is baiting with this Medusa. I think it is going to be like a support of some kind. Like this might be the 4 position Dusa with the Doom, and maybe that's what they want to do with this, and see if like they can bait Tundra into doing like overreacting to this pick. But then it's like a double-edged sword. If you don't react accordingly, then it just gets to be a core Medusa and a good Medusa game. So I am curious what they're going to do with this.
I like Tundra's response already, though.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Brood, like you're sidestepping it, whether it's core or support Medusa, you're just like, I'm just going to play fast. Yeah. So I don't really care if you're baiting me or not. Like I'll try to play fast regardless of where she goes. So I like this idea, and there's nothing to say you can't still pick an anti-mage later on, or you can't do Invoker for Topson and still have that EMP. So we're gonna see a Morphling picked up here. Could be the carry, could be the support again, but Saika is a very good Morphling player if you want to do that.
Dude,
it really does feel like, I don't know. Are you being baited? You're like, oh, surely it's Medusa carry, and it's 4 support Morphling, which would be really good this game. Like Jakiro and Leshrac are great steals. But are you being baited?
I feel like that we're making more of a case for GPK's Invoker, but or not for GPK's Invoker, but for Topson Invoker, right? Like,
anyone take Invoker.
You see like Medusa Morphling, like these heroes are really hurt by mana burn. And so I'm curious if they want to go that route or not. But with the Enchantress now, it's like one of these two is the core. So which one is it going to be? We'll have to see. They just go for puck.
Mid something. Mid Medusa? Mid Morphling? Are we taking a playbook out of Topson here?
I was like, Topson played mid morph for a while, right?
Yeah.
But he's going to be on the puck this time. another 4 Lesh, right? We've been seeing this quite often, like the support Leshrac going the Misanthropy with the Edict at level 1 and just kind of trading into the supports. It's going to be a little bit more difficult into an Enchantress because she can have a creep with her, which will soak a lot of that. I mean, it's 400 pure damage at level 1 if you if you just soak the whole thing. So potentially splitting it with the creep will make a big difference.
10 seconds remaining.
That's true. I've seen some position 5 Leshracs as well, though. Or maybe you just swap the lanes and you still play it like position 4, but you're just dodging the Enchantress.
Yeah.
And Jakiro, I think, would be okay versus Enchantress. It's not really... I wouldn't say you like destroy her or anything, but the fact that you can hit the creep as well makes it a lot easier for you to deal with. And Brood, Jakiro sounds strong in either lane, off lane or safe lane.
I mean, this has to be core Medusa now, right? Like, on paper, it looks like you... I mean, I would hate to run the carry morph into this game.
I think so. I think carry Medusa's safest position for Morphling.
Especially into Jakiro, right? It's pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be a good support Morphling game. I can't say that it would be a great Medusa support game. Tell you what, though, if you Gorgon's Grass Puck, you're going to feel awesome.
That's the slowest projectile. You're like, don't worry, it's going to hit you.
You bait him, you know? He's not used to the new Gorgon's Grass. You, like, throw it, and he's like, oh, phase shift. And you're like, haha, it's going to hit 3 seconds from now. Got you.
Amazing, amazing. Last set of picks here for both teams, expecting an offlaner for Tundra, as they think it's going to be the carry Broodmother, which is fine. Could very well be. I think she plays well into the Doom. You could also just go Troll Warlord here, and then I think you crush this game, because he is a very good diffusal builder as well.
Yeah, I think Ursa could also be pretty solid.
Ursa's also very good.
Yeah, he has really good matchups into a lot of this. So
Even
I think either of those two could be good. Is there another like really early game hero? Maybe you could go
Slark
off lane. What if you went like Enigma or something? I mean, there's already the Doom, but I'm just trying to think like who else really ups the tempo. Like you go carry Brood, and then you just pick an off laner who's like go go go.
That's a good question. We don't really see the Darkseer anymore, but if you're into Medusa or Morphling, it's not a bad Darkseer game.
There is the
downside,
Enchantress.
yeah, it's like you're into Enchantress and you don't have a 4 that like plays well with it.
What about Underlord? What about Mars?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Me too. It's so obvious.
I mean, Arena's great against the Medusa, which is likely the carry, right? So.
And it'll come online very early. You don't even need Blink, really. I mean, nowadays you just see Mars like phase boots at you and then do the like little spear into arena trick, so you can't really dodge it. And eventually you get Blink, and that'll make it even easier for you. All right, I'm liking it. This time it feels like Tundra has the much easier to run lineup. Okay.
One of the classic counters to the puck. So GPK Void Spirit, it is one of those things that this matchup, puck versus Void Spirit, is kind of double-edged, like both of them getting something out of it. And oh my god, it is a support Medusa. So
let's go!
It is the 4th
BetBoom
position Medusa.
Creativity.
Yeah, I mean, we were wondering, we're like, is this just going to be the Medusa Doom off lane? I mean, you know, Psycho watched Pure last game just pop off on the morph. He's like, I want to do that. You guys pick me that next game. That seems really fun. All right. I love seeing, you know, new heroes ran in different positions. So the support Medusa, we'll see how it does. Venomous Volley is a good debuff. It is a pretty good debuff. Now, whether or not it makes a huge difference this game, we'll have to see, because it requires you to attack a lot, and you don't really do that as a support that often.
In the lane, yeah. This will be into Brood Jakiro, though. And Jakiro actually does so much damage early. You can probably burn through the mana pretty quickly. Or, I mean, maybe not like quickly, but like it takes a couple rotations of like QE, but it's a lot of damage, more than most other supports.
That being said, with this type of setup, this Medusa will be a great Guardian Greaves builder, which is nice. Like having someone who could build Greaves like innately from the support role is fantastic because Doom probably wants to go his like Midas, Blink, you know, the pipe and stuff like that with his BKB. So this will at least give you like a designated Guardian Greaves builder, which is nice. You know, that helps. We'll see. I'm open to the interpretation of the game. The last game we were a little bit confused on what Tundra was doing. This time a little bit of question mark on what BetBoom is doing. So I'm excited, man. This will be a fun game.
I'm very excited. I think once again the mid lane will be quite important. Like you said, this is a matchup that goes both ways, and I think it's a little easier for Void lately because you just have such good damage.
Yeah.
And there's not really spells to dodge for Puck. Like, I don't know if you can even technically dodge the Remnant. I don't think you can, right? Because it has to be like a disjointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got to be a disjointed targeted spell. So you won't be getting any like free regen from the Void. You can still do it with the creeps and the towers and stuff, but yeah, I feel like Void maybe has a little bit of an edge here. I don't know if there's a rotation coming from a support. Jakira's pretty slow. Leshrac fast, but a little bit of an awkward ganker.
All right, here we go. Jumping into game number 2 here as we take a look at the facets. The victory feast for MOUZ is the big one for me that kind of stands out, as we don't see all that often. Miro on the top side gonna take a lot of damage from the Edict, but does manage to get out. Yeah, how do you feel about this victory feast for Ramses? And they have done the sentry block on the bottom lane, so they are going to go ahead and try and keep this wave shoved in. Save actually going to take a lot of damage here as well. They get him on the blood grenade and another Edict. Big Mystic Snake, though, to quote-unquote heal the Medusa, but she will have to walk the base. She has no choice.
I guess you burn some mana from a Leshrac. I guess that's mainly it. He still has a lot, though. All right. No kills, but some good damage in from Tundra. And actually, they're still going. 9 class is still up here.
He's got boots first, man. This is a fast horse. Now they're just chasing down Miro. This Edict has done a lot of work already. Each Edict, almost like a full duration. It's like 400, like it is 400 pure damage a cast. So if you eat the whole thing, your lane is going to be really rough.
He's still up here too. And actually, it's become a tri-lane versus tri-lane. They know 9 class is staying up here.
Yeah.
And part of this is because they did that trick at the bottom lane. So they knew I don't have to be bottom. The lane will get to the Mars. And I can choose to stay or go. But currently, we got a 3-on-3. This is rare. Who does this favor?
It has to be Tundra, right? Like,
I think so.
Jakiro, Lesh, come on.
Jakiro really wants like some early levels though.
Yeah,
and so does Rude.
I mean, yeah, you're right actually.
And actually, the more heroes that there are, the more you're gonna split up Diabolic Edict. Plus, the Enchantress creep is now here.
All right, they're gonna actually back off on the Lesh, and looks like he's just gonna head mid and start running at the Void Spirit. I love the idea here. He's just making sure he can't get a Water Rune on GPK, and if he tries to, he's gonna eat a full Edict. So we'll protect.
I thought the Medusa 4 was gonna be the creative part, but now we have 9 class starting with a tri-lane, roaming around at 2 minutes. This is fun. This is a fun one. Last game was fun. This one's already getting wacky.
MOUZ versus Morphling is going to be a free farming lane for the Morphling. Like, you really don't have any way of slowing him down.
That's true. It's gonna be tough because the early levels of MOUZ, you do a good chunk of damage, but you can't actually finish a kill if Psycha starts morphing strength. And I mean, he's a very high level player, right? I'm sure he'll be able to do that. So,
oh boy, here we go again. The Edict doing a lot of work. Like you said, tanking between multiple heroes is fantastic. The Gorgon's Grasp makes a huge difference there, I'm sure, as it doesn't even connect. But they get the kill on Miro. Lesh is getting a little bit overconfident in this lane.
I feel like tri-laning into Medusa might actually, I don't know. Mystic Snake just has more targets that get you mana.
Yeah. And she's like a really easy, like as a support, you can just invest into mangoes, right?
Yeah, and because you're splitting all the resources 3 ways, but
Oh,
there's
that's
Devour
spooky.
at some point. Like, he's getting extra gold that you can't. I'm not sure if tri-laning's the play here for Tundra. The more I think about it, but we'll see. I mean, it's still 3 minutes into the laning stage, and they seem committed. It seems like we're tri-laning the entire laning stage now. Toronto Tokyo might be in a bit of an awkward spot.
He came very far forward. The Insatiable Hunger doing so much work. The Gorgon's Grasp double hits Pure, actually, for a lot of damage. And 9 class still only level 1 on this Lesh, so no extra damage to throw in himself. This is a brawl of a top lane for sure. But I feel like you're right. It has started to favor BetBoom here. Until maybe the level 3 of the Jakiro. Like, that's like one of those moments where he probably just does so much damage. It might be too much to respond with.
9 class 2, though. Like, Leshrac, Edict goes from 10 damage to an explosion to 18. So practically doubles in value. And he's still level 1, you know, and it's a tri-lane, so it's even slower than usual. That would be a huge help for these early fights. I don't know, this is just slowing down the Brood 6-2. But I guess at this point you can't leave, because then you're going to be tri-lane like 3 into 2. And how much are you going to do to a Morphling who's already like level 5?
And mid lane's kind of going as we expected, right? The Void Spirit, it's just an easier lane for him. Even with the pressure applied early on, not letting him get the water rune, like he's managed to farm exceptionally well.
All right, they're looking at save.
Oh, that's a nice
Lucky,
split
are they with
earth.
Diabolic Edict. Puck's coming in. No coil though, actually.
I mean, it might be enough damage. Toronto Tokyo's already popped the heal, and oh boy, is it enough damage? It's a lot of burst. Save gonna try and run away here. 9 class might still have the Edict, but he's gonna TP out. Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. Good TP. So
little
Puck,
vacuum effect was cool.
yeah. Puck
Set
coming
up for the
top is
AoEs.
huge.
Yeah, helping everybody out, right? He wasn't having the greatest time mid. Top was kind of weird.
See who wins the 6-minute rune. Could be a big one as well. It's a shield rune bottom. All right. Not the most threatening rune, but it does at least prevent this Puck from probably dying at all. Here comes the Edict. Nice Gorgon's Grasp again. Managed to dodge out some of the damage, but he's just walking into the Enchantress, and GPK just TPs in with ease. Big punish as they try to dive the tower here.
Maybe going a little deep there. I think they wanted that follow-up kill on Doom. You know, he dies, TP's back to lane. If you can kill him a second time, very painful. But this time Void Spirit's ready to rotate in. And now they're looking at Pure. Got the Centaur Stomp if they need it. Into the Gorgon's Grasp. I think that was a double hit, too. Some extra damage.
They're smoked on Lesh. He's actually heading back to the top lane, knowing that this Wisdom Rune's about to spawn, and they just brought some extra heroes. So he's going to get it. Too fast on the Disco Pony, and Toronto Tokyo has to get away from this Edict damage. It's going to get soaked mostly by the Centaur. That was one of the things we talked about. Thompson's here, though. Nice silence into the split earth. They even commit the coil. A little unnecessary, but the Gorgon's Grasp sets up a kill for GPK now. Very nicely done on the side of BetBoom. Losing the Wisdom Rune's a little painful, though.
Some fun tech there. Intentionally walking to tower as he's trying to escape, because he'll proc your innate once you dodge him for some extra heals.
Oh, I forget that innate even exists, I'll be honest.
They got a pretty good early game buff. I think that's why Puck has returned. He was a little underestimated prior to that buff, and now that buff brought it into the attention of a lot of mid players. Oh, nice. Aether Remnant.
And that's an amplify damage. Thompson is just dead. Really sick play from GPK. And part of this just comes down to the attention onto the power runes. Like, they just were not expecting, you know, the amplify damage, but you kind of got to play around those 8-minute runes. That being said, they actually just got a solo kill bottom.
Yeah, I think that was the Observer helping 9 class get a stun from fog, like over trees, and then the stun into the level 2 Diabolic Edict just killed the Morphling before he could get the shift out. Thompson, okay, he's got his jaunt out, he's okay.
There's a lot of tower damage being taken here, and they need to bring some heroes to try and stop this. The Gorgon's Grasp is out, doesn't really connect, but Thompson cannot do this alone. Coil, it misses everybody. Oh, that hurts so bad.
A little awkward. It happens though. Post tri-lane, the double Wisdom Rune steal was fantastic because now Tundra supports are sort of on track for what they would usually be, but after splitting so much XP, the BetBoom supports are a little bit behind.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Man, GPK
The
is owning
Brood's
mid
catching
lane.
back up, actually.
It's under attack.
Classic Brood things.
Yeah. Dude, he's like 1,500 gold ahead in a full level. Ice Path off the mark, able to just Astral Step away. He saw an extra one available anyway, so GPK not even worried as they force the TP from the Mars. 10-minute power runes coming. Another Gorgon's Grasp. It's going to be bottom, but that is just another kill for this Void Spirit as Thompson will bottle up the regen.
Dire's bottom tower.
In the end, this Morphling's actually not as farmed as I thought he would be.
Yeah, same.
But I guess that's one of those things, right? Like, Morphling's farming speed is not that great. Just very efficient through changing attributes and all of that.
Real quick, everybody, just remember that you can register on 1xBet with the promo code UNIVERSE, that's UNVRS3, and grab yourself a 100% welcome bonus deposit. There's a pinned message in chat that'll give you all the details if you want to do that. Smoke up, blink reveal here for Ramses. You need a really big kill. GPK would be absolutely ideal, but you need to follow it up with the coil.
He's low mana.
They're gonna see him. The spear, it connects just barely on the edge. And with the coil to follow it up, really nicely done. They will take down GPK and still have the arena threat.
That's fantastic. That's the best kill you could find.
Radiant's
Very nice spear by Ramses, putting all those high levels into use. And it looks like they're moving bottom off of that. Maybe looking to try to take some towers.
Vlad's more. They're gonna go top, so they want to actually pressure Pure away from the tower.
Okay, you have to trade. If you can scout this rotation, you shove this bottom lane to punish. It looks like maybe a trade in tier 1 towers. They're not really pushing, so I guess BetBoom's just taking a free tier 1 tower.
Benefits of the morph, right?
That's true. Rotating in.
Dude, 9 class is level 7. He actually max Split Earth, which is not what I expected, to be honest, but it's one of those things, you know, your Edict doesn't help you push towers, but Split Earth gets quite a bit of good scaling out of it. Much larger AoE, good control, good wave clear.
Maybe combos with
Shakiro and...
Yeah, like the Waning Rift pulling people in.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What's support Medusa up to? She got Arcanes. going
gotta
for
go.
an Atos.
Oh, she is. Okay.
Well, she has a Q. She hasn't bought any components yet.
I was like, you either go Atos or Guardian Greaves, right? But I don't know. Maybe there's someone else who wants to build the Greaves. I'm not sure.
I mean, we talk a lot about Gleipnir position 4s. Surely Medusa can be one.
That is a very valid point. Yeah. Game is super even though. 8-5, almost no net worth advantage. Just a slight tower advantage at the moment for BetBoom as they took the top tier 1 tower. But Broodmother can just continue to farm. Like, she's one of the few carries where it's like, if you lose your tower, it's really not the end of the world. Like, you can just continue to farm jungle and the lane pretty safely because of how quick you are.
Yeah. The Spiderlings help give you a lot of safety too, because if you're ever worried, you can send them out to scout for you. The Broodmother has an Orchid on the way. Maybe we're going to see Tundra try to make a play off that reveal.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Seem to
They're
be
in a
looking
good
top.
spot. Yeah, they're in a good spot with a wraparound here from the Lesh. They have Ward in their triangle as well. And Thompson's Invis with the Witchblade. So this is very big. If they can actually get the Doom, it would be perfect, but we'll see if Thompson manages. He's going to actually walk right into a Sentry. The Doom comes out. Oh, no. That is the worst case scenario for Tundra. They will get the tower, but you lose the puck.
It's a pretty unexpected sentry in front of the ancient camp at this time. I wonder if this goes back to when they made that deep play earlier and BetBoom was checking for vision.
I wonder if they saw him pick it up because he was definitely walking in a weird way on Lesh. And they're like,
Well, one was already down. One was already down that caught sight of him, and then the second sentry came down. I don't know, just to be careful. Now there's actually 2 sentries really close to each other.
Yeah.
Either way, that is a very fortunate sentry to get a free puck kill. Because usually it's quite hard to doom a puck, especially when you don't have a blink yet.
Sometimes you just walk into the high ground and get instantly doomed.
So true, so true.
They want some revenge. Scan comes out. They see the Morphling, the spear into the arena. Do they have the damage? He's got the Morph going. And he just gets actually sent a massive Lotus as well. So Morphling lives. In comes GPK. Now looking to finish off Ramses. The spear will send him back through the way. But he is going to walk into the hands of the Medusa well as now. There's nowhere to go.
Radiant's bottom tower
A very good series of events for BetBoom.
I can't believe he got the morph strength off, actually. That was so fast.
I thought he had Shard, and I was like, there's no way. It's 16 minutes. Why would you have Shard? But yeah, he just managed to get the morph off that quick.
I guess in between the... Maybe the spear should come first. I don't know. Maybe the coil hitting him is what gave him
Yeah.
enough time before the spear connected.
It needed to be the blink spear from the Mars, realistically, because you don't have like blink into silence from the puck.
Once you start getting pushed by the spear, you can't switch to strength, right?
No, I don't believe so. I think you're stunned.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'd be able to like BKB and stuff, you know.
True.
Thompson looking for a little bit of a pick off here onto the Medusa. She still has the ult, but the Orchid comes through. Big Gorgon's Grasp holding him back, but yeah, Beer's got plenty of damage with those Spiderlings. And they actually find Toronto Tokyo as well. Great Spear back. Both supports dead as they turn their attention to the mid-tier 1 tower. Those are a really good set of kills for the side of Tundra now.
And that'll
As they
clear
get
up
the
last
spear
tier
back,
one.
this time onto the Morph. Again, he gets the Morph off with the silence from the Orchid. He's going to die here. The Soul Burn will be enough damage.
Radiant's middle tower is
I
under
think he
attack.
pings a ward there. He's suspicious of how he got caught. And because he went
They're
to
not
that-
done. They're actually just rotating one to the next. Yeah, you get the Doom off onto the Lesh, but Ramses, man, the rotations just getting them right back into this game.
That was really, really nice. Catching BetBoom totally off guard. It's like, oh, they killed us. Surely they'll take the tier 1. It's like, oh no, they're actually diving us. It's like, oh, okay, surely they're gonna chip the tier. Oh, they're killing 2. They're all over the place. And their map is getting restricted now by this Brood Mother as well. Some deep wards set up across the map.
He really wants to defend
side.
that ward on the high ground too. And BetBoom are afraid to go up there, and rightfully so, right? You don't really see anybody on Tundra. They could still just be sitting up there waiting. So it's the creep now potentially on Toronto Tokyo. I don't know.
Oh, he's got a Kobold too. Send both. Sending GPK up first.
Yeah,
We'll get the D ward.
Difficult chase there into the ice pad. That's a double astral step. GPK needs to be a little bit careful. Thompson does have a haste rune. There's gonna be the blink, the spear, the coil coming out as well, but he's sustaining through a lot of this. There's the arena, and GPK is kind of stuck for the moment. The silence into the split earth. Pierre's got an orchid to follow it up, and they do. A 1-for-1 trade. Very happy if you're Tundra, looking for more, and they find Toronto Tokyo. No chance of escape. Pierre's Broodmother is getting very scary. He is massively pulled in front of everybody else this game. The Gorgon, Gorgon's Grass killed all the spiders. Okay, I did not expect that.
Me neither.
Level 4.
350 physical damage, and then I guess Snake hit a couple. But I think all of that was Gorgon's Grasp.
Is the physical damage including the burn, the DPS?
Yeah, 100 DPS for 2 seconds, 150 flat damage.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I didn't realize that much. Oh, speaking
I guess
of
they
which,
have no armor.
Yeah, they find 9 class. That's a great pick off. The kill goes to the Morphling as well, which is absolutely necessary. He's starting to fall behind despite having, pretty much a solo lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Don't forget, everybody, this is a really good time to make sure you're following Fissure here on Twitch as well as on YouTube. Of course, the Universe Episode 3 is brought to you by Fissure Studios. They've put something amazing together. This tournament is super cool, so make sure to show them some love. We'd appreciate it. BKB done on Ramses. He's going to have that one sent out in a moment, and looks like GPK is closing in on his. He has an early Ags, though. He's sitting right under a ward. Oh, no! Will they get the jump is the question.
Just used several of his escapes.
Thompson's trying to find him. He knows he's here somewhere. They see save on the Medusa.
They're going to go for the Tormentor play, I think.
Dude, no way they sniffed this out. Maybe he got a
No one else is
glimpse
showing on the map.
of the puck? I don't know.
Maybe. I think no one else was showing, though, and they got really suspicious. I think Tundra was coming in hoping, like, oh, maybe they're doing Tormentor. We can snipe it and take a good fight. Looks like they're just going to settle for stealing away the Tormentor, which there's some pretty good shards. I think the Leshrac shard is actually really good.
Oh, yeah, it's very
if
good.
you can get it.
When you have this arena, dude, and, like, several heroes that can't
true.
get outside of it, you're just like, oh, well, I either stand in the split earth or I'm bonking into the wall. Satiable
I'm gonna
Hunger.
take the tier 2 first to make it a little safer,
Yeah.
which with the Brood Spiderlings was very easy.
Yeah, huge. Whitemon. That's like the worst one you could get. Unlucky.
I suppose versus Morphling, maybe it's not as bad
True.
as he switches over to Strength to do a little extra damage, but yeah, you were really hoping for the Leshrac one, which you can still go back to your own side. I suspect maybe they're going to Twin Gate, get Roche, and then head back to their Tormentor. Though currently I think they're scared because everyone is missing from BetBoom due to the fact that they're smoked up.
I like the call to back here and just get their own Tormentor. I really do. I think this is super smart. There's no reason to not just get that influx of gold. You have the shard on the Jakiro. Now you have the option of either, the Lesh or the Mars. And both of them are very good. It goes to the Lesh. So huge turn for Tundra in terms of their team fighting ability. You lose a little bit of efficiency on the map, right? Because you have to TP everyone. Then you got to go back to Fountain to reset. So some time lost on the map, but
At the same time, because you suspect that BetBoom is smoked by totally dodging that gank, BetBoom wasn't max efficiency farming while you all TP home, right?
That's a good point,
So
yeah.
I actually think it worked out quite well. BetBoom's wasting their smoke, not getting anything done. Now they're farming, right? But you got your own Tormentor, you dodged any deaths, and you now have 2 shards to work with, which I do think you can go Roche anytime you feel...
Dude, the less shard
You
for
want
Roche is
it.
so good.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I mean-
absurdly good.
Not only at stunning up the Roche, but like anyone who jumps in might just get stunned and
Yeah.
you kill them. And you have a really good chain stun potential now off of like MOUZ initiates, you get the Leshrac stun, you get the Ice Path, then the second Leshrac stun comes in.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going to be really hard to navigate these fights now.
They are looking for the morph in the bottom side. Now, the rest of BetBoom is missing. They don't know exactly where they are, so they're kind of just assuming they're nearby, which is not actually the case, but you kind of just, you have no choice. They have good 2 aggressive wards placed down here from Tundra, and so they're going to shove this wave, start to look for the Roshan, and at some point, BetBoom are going to have to respond. Smoking down to the bottom side of the map here. BKB done on Broodmother, though, is a pretty big pickup. And here we go. Let the split earths begin. Your puck close enough as well. I'm surprised 9class is just putting his body here to try and pop the smoke, and he does, but he's in trouble. He's a big part of your fight. He's gone to start this one off, and Thompson gonna get caught by the Atos, able to jaunt away, and like you said, he does buy him back TP to the tier 2, but that Roche, it's at about a 3rd HP. They didn't manage to finish it off. And more Broodmother webs come out as Morphling gonna roleplay himself. I mean, Roche is moving top in 7 seconds to jump in. The coil onto 4 on 5. The arena just holds everybody in place. They call the bluff. You cannot get to the dire side of the map. They said Miro will go down with the Enchantress. Saika trying to run away. GPK will TP. Save. Not gonna be as lucky. How did they know?
They have a ward right there.
I thought they were smoked, though. Like, maybe they weren't.
No, it broke earlier when they were killing the Leshrac, so they went in, they all tried to twin gate over, preparing for that nighttime Roche, but they didn't clear this area of vision first, so they just jump in Arena Coil, which I now realize has some counter synergy. I don't think you probably don't need to drop both at the same time, but it does help. It prevents someone like the Morphling and the Void Spirit from using their mobility to get out of the arena, so I guess maybe you need to use it. But it is kind of funny to not be able to break Coil because they just bounce on the arena.
Oh, that's a dieback on 9class. He's like, guys, they might have a ward over here.
All right, good pickup for BetBoom to get something out of that because that last exchange was not good.
They're going to lose their Enchantress here. Trying to hold the Orchid. Should have enough damage just from Pure as he hits level 18. And a Scythe of Ice will be coming out from the Mars here in just a matter of time. And this is, I think, my favorite Mars build. Ooh, Thompson in a rough spot. Does he have ways to get out?
This solo kill onto Doom.
Yeah, it was. He has a blink. No TP for 10 seconds. They don't know this. Oh my god. No way he actually gets out, right? He actually might.
He's gonna try.
Oh,
He has no mana.
He has no mana at all.
Oh, they just miss him around the trees.
They both got hit by the same tree pathing there. Wow. Okay, space made, and bottom lane Pure is working on the tier 3 tower as Thompson will TP back to base. Be allowed to reset. Nice spear out from Ramses to try and hold GPK down, but
You gotta chill for a bit because Doom's respawning, and you know your puck TP'd home. He can't connect. BB knows that, so everyone just back off for now. I mean, you still have tons of Aegis time. Over 3.5 minutes. He's working on a Scotty on Pure too. That's gonna be really good versus the Morphling. How much of that tower was that? There's only 1/4 of its health left, so I mean, once Puck... I mean, is there an item you're waiting for? You could probably just go back. Puck is what? Working on a Maelstrom. Oh, I guess Scythe is really close on Mars. Okay, wait for Scythe. You'll still have like 2 minutes of Aegis at that point, and you can get a kill off of that Scythe reveal, and that will let you go the high ground. So maybe get the Hex, walk at the tier 2, So you can maybe get a kill, take the tier 2, and have the entire all 3 lanes available to you if you win a big enough fight.
I like that idea. They're going to smoke up here on BetBoom, head towards top. See if they can maybe punish Thompson as he is unknowingly under a ward. But not an easy hero to grab by any means, as he's going for his own Maelstrom, which will eventually, likely to turn into a Gleipnir. That's what we typically see, just from every hero that can build one. Why build Mjolnir when you can just be Gleipnir instead?
Utility is good.
All right. There's a
device on the Mars.
That's a big one. There is a ward here that they don't know about. Ramsey's managing to avoid it, luckily. So they have not scouted the scythe. Ooh, they will see it now. Okay. So if they're clicking Ramses, they're gonna know about the scythe.
I imagine they were. Still knowing about it doesn't really make it much easier to deal with, because you don't. Okay, they actually have the Lincolns queued up, so they get a little bit of a head start on that, but you don't have it yet, so you still can't really walk in unless you want to BKB early, which does not feel good.
This gets really scary really fast. Pure does so much damage and is just going to start working on this melee, or the ranged barracks first. Melee will give them a second fort, but they did exactly as you said, right? All 3 lanes are an option for them if they want it. So Pure protected by the split earth spam from 9 class, but also just this solar crest spam that's coming through. You have great follow-up if they try to initiate. You got 50 seconds left on the Aegis. That is a full lane of barracks down.
Lincolns did finish on the Morphling.
That's a big one.
So you can take a point. And they don't have the easiest ways at breaking that Lincolns yet. Like, especially if the Mars is trying to jump in first.
We have a slight moment here, everybody. Remember, if you want to participate in the giveaway, you can go ahead in chat, type !1x give, and find out how to participate yourself. Maybe get lucky enough. Bottom lane. They get the jump out. Okay.
Trying to make a sneaky play through the lane they already took.
I mean, they're still smoked on several other heroes, and Thompson comes in, gets the coil, the big one. It's onto the Void Spirit, the arena. The Spirit comes down. Can they chainstun on him long enough? It looks like they got him, just barely. The Aegis expiring in 1 second as 9 class going to get caught from the Glimmer Cape. Walk on back. BKB comes out from Saika as he will be able to finish the job. He's going to turn himself into the puck as well. Pure obviously doesn't get any of the regen from that Aegis thanks to the Doom, but maybe a little bit afraid to continue chasing here. Dual Breath back the other way. Ramses and Pure, they're going to rejoin the fray. They get the Scythe out on over to Toronto Tokyo, and they cannot escape on this Medusa. They will both fall as Tundra turning their attention back to the high ground. Buyback on the Medusa. 10 seconds to your Void Spirit, who, mind you, didn't get to cast anything in the last fight. He got coiled into Scythe, into Arena Spear. It's very different if he's alive.
At this point, I'm not sure there is much you
Oh,
can
the
do.
Manta
There's
dodge,
no Doom
the
left.
Scythe, it just catches the Doom. He's held back, taking so much damage, but they jump in. They get on top of Pure. He's tried his best to lifesteal through this. Can he do it? The high five, baby. You got nothing left in the tank. The GG comes out. This Broodmother with the shard. Once you get that rolling, you can't fight him 1v1.
Yeah, he had the Scotty too, so he was reducing any healing from his targets as well. Very nicely done from Tundra. I think the execution on that late game was very clean. They got the Mars, Hex, and they just played around that. They just took their time finding the right pickoffs, get the kills, and clean up that game very nicely. That's where, a lot of teams will end up throwing and you extend the game another 20, 30 minutes, but Tundra knew what to do once they had that lead.
Yeah, it looked really clean. It did. I think, like you said, they were waiting on those specific timings. They capitalized on it perfectly. They almost get exactly what they wanted on BetBoom, which was like dooming the Brood right as the Aegis was expiring so he doesn't get the regen. Maybe he dies there and it's a very different game, right? But he lives on just a sliver of HP, pops Insatiable Hunger. farms the hard camp, comes back full HP, and yeah, your game is in shambles at that point. So really good stuff from Tundra, man. They are a fun team to watch. They makes it look very good.
Yeah, and this one started with the tri-lane on tri-lane action too. Very uncommon. And I was thinking on it at that time, and I was like, oh wait, I think this is better for BetBoom. But then reflecting on it again, and what we kind of saw, Morphling, although given a lot of levels, he doesn't really speed up his farm off of that.
Yeah.
He's not like a Sven who's like, oh, give me levels, I have high points in cleave. I'm not a Terrorblade or a Naga. It's like, oh, I have very strong illusions. I farm really, really fast now. Luna, right? I just need levels. I'll farm really fast. Morphling gets the levels. I can shift my stats a little faster, guys. Look at that. It's like, it actually didn't expedite his farm all that much. But the Mars being level 8 so early, he had really high level spells to start joining in. Your Doom was still trying to catch up. Broodmother was lower level than Morphling, but as soon as she hit 6, her farming speed was actually faster because that's just the way the hero works. So I don't know how 5 like Omega Brain play that was for Tundra to see that so quickly, like throughout that draft, just identify, yeah, we can tri-lane this. I don't know if that's exactly what they envisioned, if it was a happy accident, but I'm glad we got to see it. It's been ages since we saw a tri-lane on tri-lane.
Yeah, I mean, you put all that pressure into the safe lane, you get Broodmother's tower, but like you said, it doesn't really matter once you hit level 6. You know, you can just farm to your heart's content. And the blink reveal from Ramses was the literal perfect thing you could have gotten. You kill the Void Spirit without having to commit the arena. And like GPK, who was completely crushing that game, finally gets humbled and has, you know, to slow down his item progression a little bit, allowing Thompson to kind of catch back up. And it just little things that stack up throughout that game that gave Tundra the win here. And it, yeah, just flawless execution. Very well done.
Yeah. The Roche fight too.
Yeah.
The one where they got the, was it like 4-man arena and coil on that twin game? That was an amazing grab by Tundra, which came from just the way they maneuvered around that map. They had the vision set up. They recognized, okay, we lost the Leshrac, split off, wait for him to rejoin, and then go again if we see an opportunity. And that's exactly what they got there. That's kind of what set them in motion to then close out the game, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, it was really cool. I love their itemization. They did this super well. 7, I mean, like all of their score lines are impressive in this game. Like 9 class, yeah, he's 4, 7, 8. He has decent amount of deaths for his team, but he did a lot of work early on, pulling a lot of attention to that top lane. And he's got a Solar Crest and a Glimmer Cape, right? He's just throwing them on the Broodmother, trying to keep people alive in these fights, and it pays off in the end.
It does make me wonder, what if we swap Morphling and Medusa? Do you think that would have been better for BetBoom? The tri-lane probably worse if you try to take a level 1 Morphling there compared to the Medusa, who can take Gorgon's Grasp and the Snake. But Medusa does speed up with just levels, right? So if you're 1v1ing versus the Mars, maybe that's better. Although I guess your early damage is not bad, so maybe Mars would have done even better in that case.
Yeah, that's the thing that's really strange is you didn't know that this tri-lane was coming, and maybe
yeah, that's true.
Maybe if you also saw this tri-lane coming, yeah, you could have put Medusa in the safe lane, but I don't know if it plays out too much different. I liked the answers they brought to the draft, and Pure getting MVP here, I think absolutely well deserved. He played a 6 series, not only in the Morphling in game 1, but the Broodmother here in game 2. Crushing the damage and
17k tower.
Yeah,
damage.
I was like, he did about just as much in game 1 as well on his Morphling. Like all of the tower damage in this series was just pure.
Yeah, very well done. I'm very satisfied. I wanted to see creativity from Tundra. We got some weird heroes game 1 and then a tri-lane game 2.
Yeah, it was super fun. Make sure everybody, if you are watching this event, you can take advantage of the sign-up bonus from 1xBet. So just head on over to their website and use the promo code UNIVERSE. That's UNVRS3. So big shout out to them for that one. We appreciate that. I'm really excited to see like what tomorrow is going to hold and how the rest of this playoff stage is going to kind of unfold, because I mean, as we saw this morning, there's what people probably didn't expect was the upset of Nouns over Gaimin Gladiators. Now, no one is like through yet, but 2 wins and you are, you know, through to,
You are through.
yeah, then you're through. So you're halfway there, right?
Yeah, definitely the Nouns is a bigger upset, which I think we all know it's possible on paper, but they did it, you know? I think the Nouns fans can be very happy about that. And Gaimin Gladiators, not out, like you said. You can have a chance tomorrow. Though if you lose tomorrow, because there's going to be a winners versus losers, I think we'll see the schedule in a moment. Whoever wins in the winners match, you're good, qualified. Whoever loses in the losers matchup, sorry, you're out. And then there's going to be one more match between the people who are 1-1 to see who will then go forward. So BetBoom, I like what they brought game 1. Game 2 was some creativity with the Medusa.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this is exactly what they envisioned with it, like ending up in a tri-lane and all that. So I want to see them run it again because I'm really curious what they originally planned for it. But I think they just got caught off guard by Tundra's wacky, zany play style, you know? So I'm curious to see how they'll do tomorrow versus Gaimin Gladiators, I believe, which I don't know. That's also a tough matchup. You know what you're getting from Gaimin Gladiators, but you know it's very hard to handle anyways.
I feel like I'm trying to remember historically between those two teams, you know, how those matchups have gone. But my gut says like Gaimin Gladiators typically comes out ahead. But
I think so.
You never know, right? Like these teams are all so dang close. This patch has been very different kind of in terms of like we're still seeing a lot of the same itemization, but the heroes in terms of the roles that they're playing, we're seeing a lot more flexibility in that. And I think that has made the, you know, Dota a little bit more fun to watch. So I'm always a big fan of that.
Yeah, I think we got to see the Naga today. I think it actually got played earlier in the play-ins, but at least you and I got to see it today, which that was fun, right? Deluge. I feel like there's a lot more to explore there. The Deluge, 35% status resistance. That's like so crazy. So I don't think we've even got to see like the coolest combos with that quite yet. I'm very excited. Yeah, we got the schedule here. So the upset from earlier, Nouns versus Gaimin Gladiators. So Nouns going to move on. They're going to fight Tundra tomorrow, which they're going to have to do some draft prep, right? When you're looking at this, yeah, I don't know if you could have predicted that, how things were going to play out, who was going to go where. So Nouns going to have their work cut out for them. And don't forget about Group B, Spirit beating Cloud9. I don't think that's too crazy. A lot of people might expect that. That Falcons versus G2IG game, though, very close, very exciting series. And we'll have all these games tomorrow. Make sure you're following, subscribed, whatever you're watching. Make sure you check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the games start at the exact same time, so don't make sure not to be late. Zach and I will be here in the afternoon doing the second half, you know, for Group A. But Group B starts bright and early, so make sure set your alarm to be here. There's your schedule. So it's going to kick things off Cloud9 versus G2YG, then the Spirit Falcons game, and then we're back into Group A of Gaimin Gladiators, BetBoom, and Nouns versus Tundra. So a lot of fun series. This is a super cool tournament, but it goes by fast. So make sure you do not want to miss out on any of these. It's gonna be a hoot, man.
Yeah, I can't believe some of those teams are going to be eliminated tomorrow. It's pretty crazy. Any of them could win. Any of them could win this thing, right? Yeah. I believe in that. So we'll see. You got to do it now, right? So
100%.
Make sure you're there tomorrow. We'll get to see.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate you all for tuning in. This is going to bring day one of these group stages to a close. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow.